How you doing? Nick Sanders again. Hey, so this video is kind of titled, why should you take a look at the life business too? Life stands for living intentionally for excellence. I like that idea. Living intentionally for excellence. So taking control of my life to live it well. Sounds pretty good. All right, so they break it down into 8 F's, which are faith, family, finances, fitness, following, freedom, friends, and fun. Now, wow, man, think about this. There is a business that two gentlemen, engineers, Orrin Woodward and Chris Brady, put together. And you got to realize engineers are some fairly smart people. But they set up everything because they're thinking, maybe it's time to try to do things better. Maybe instead of standing on the sidelines, it's time to see how we can change things for the better. As a parent, I worry about the future for my children and my grandchildren. It's kind of scary right now, and I see it kind of getting scarier. So the question is, as a parent, do I stand there and just watch it go by me and say, well, sorry kids, it was going to happen? Or do you step forward and just do something? It doesn't have to be a huge something, but you realize that if, a very small part of the population of the United States and the world were to step forward and go, we want something better, then things would shift. When you look at the civil rights movement of the United States, and only 3% of the population were actually working towards getting civil rights for everyone. It's amazing what happened because it was 3% of a very determined population. So when you start looking at the life business, living intentionally for excellence, what isn't worth doing something for your children? I have a choleric personality, and for those of you who know what that is, it's kind of forceful. And for those of you who don't know, I'm the blowhard know-it-all. I'm the guy that I will keep at you until you finally go, fine, Nick, you're right. Okay, you're right. Doesn't mean I'm right. It just means I'm stubborn enough to force you into saying that I'm right, which is not a great thing. In fact, if you want things done, I'm the guy that you want to go do it. But if you want to talk to somebody, I'm not the guy. But I'm learning to be the guy because truly, I need to learn to be the guy because I have children and grandchildren. And what I do now impacts them forever. So I've gotten to this point in my life by listening to me. So the best thing I can do is apply some mental duct tape. And sometimes I literally have to apply real duct tape to shut up, to give my wife the opportunity to say what she needs to say and actually listen. So sometimes, real duct tape. And by the way, I have an incredible wife who's put up with me for years, and I'm incredibly grateful. And so if she sees this video, Vicky, I love you dearly. I'm doing better. I will always try and do better. So sorry about the little side note, but my family means a lot to me. So how much does your family mean to you? Do they mean enough for you to change? Do they mean enough for you to try and do better? Okay, so how are you going to get there? Because nobody likes to be told what they're doing wrong. Everybody likes to hear what they're doing right. Unfortunately, as human beings, we don't tell each other many times what we're doing right. And as individuals, we tend to pick out every single thing we did wrong. We don't realize that we do 95 things right. It's those 5 things we did wrong that we beat ourselves with. All right. So then there's this self-help movement that's been going on for quite a while. For me, I always thought it was philosophy, but it's kind of a combination of everything. So living intentionally for excellence. I know I have a tendency to digress and just rattle, but here's the thing. If you're not where you want to be and your relationship is not what you want it to be and you want something different, then stop listening to you. Find somebody that's going to give you the answers that you're looking for and that's going to hold you accountable. Because truly, as one of the four temperaments, I'm a choleric, you know, telling me I'm wrong is a challenge, and I'm always trying to overcome the challenge. So for me, everything is a competition, and not always nice about it. That kind of works in the business world. It's terrible with your children. And you know what? I'm going to have my children a lot longer than I'm going to have a job. So wouldn't it make sense that I do better for them, work harder for them, for my wife and my children than I do for my job? Yeah, well, I'm learning that. I'm a little slow. And luckily for me, the life business has CDs and books and DVDs and, conferences and all these different things that I can go to and shut me up. I can stick a CD in my CD player, or I can flip on my phone and start listening to a download as I'm driving along. And, the nice thing for me is I'm by myself, and when they say something, I go, oh man, that's me. Man, that's me. There's no one around me that goes, that was you, jerk. You can't change something until you actually look at it. And you won't look at it until you realize it. So, living intentionally for excellence is just, for me, more than just a business. Yes, there are financial aspects to it. Yes, you can make an incredible living at it. There are people out there that are just, oh my gosh, the amount of money that they're making. And when you look at that and go, wow, okay, so again, I've said this before, you're going to pay me to be a better person. Wow. Okay. How? And that's where you find somebody who's doing something that you want. And you ask them to show you how. And you hope, by the grace of God, they will. Because the life business is rather simple. The system itself is rather simple. I mean, they broke it down to steps. 1, 2, 3, and all the way to 10. And I mean, I may not be the most brilliant bulb in the box, but I can follow 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 up to 10. I got enough toes and fingers. But if you're listening to this and you're kind of like trying to figure out what the life business is and, is it a scam and all these, truly, anytime you look up anything on the internet, there's going to be something negative. I've heard individuals say, look up Jesus Christ, you'll find stuff that's negative. Truly, look up Mother Teresa, you'll find stuff that's negative. Why, man? If you look for the negative, guess what? You're going to find it. So, you only have a certain amount of time. Wouldn't it make sense to look for the positive? Wouldn't it make sense to give to your children and your wife and your spouse and your parents and everyone around you positive? Think about this. What if you walked into a room and people were actually glad to see you? What if you walked into a room where people went, how are you doing? And waited for you to answer? What if you did that and could make money at it? I realize that's a very watered down version of what the life business is. But that's pretty much the crux of it. So when you're sitting there and you're thinking or saying, God, I wish I had more money or had more time or I was in better shape or they're stealing all of our freedoms and we never have fun and I don't know what I believe in and what's going to happen for our kids and, all these negative things and you do nothing about it, then you're going to get what you get. But if you want something different, then man, go listen to some of these cats, man. Some of these people have been through stuff, and you look at them, and you listen to them, and you listen to the CDs, and you read books, and you go, wow, man, how did you overcome that? Because real easily, if they can overcome this huge monumental thing, yeah, my simple stuff is not that hard to overcome. You know, what would you do to have a better faith? What would you do to have a better family life? What would you do to have better finances? You know, more fun, better friends. What would you do to have, freedom that you know that no matter what happens with a job or your boss, you're okay? What would you do to see the country go into a better direction? The question is, what would you do? For most people, it's very difficult to do it by themselves. But when you get around people who have fruit on the tree, who've done the things you're looking for, who have the results you're searching for, who can actually show you how to get where you want to get, and you can make money at it, and being a home-based business, there's tax breaks for it, it's hard for me to understand why you wouldn't. I mean, to all my fellow cholerics out there, fellow choleric husbands, that is, wouldn't once, just once, you would love to hear your wife say, our relationship is getting better. Or something as simple as going, I don't know what to say to you. You're not the same man you used to be. It's easier to be around you. Or, hey, the washing machine is broken. We need a new one. And you can look at your wife and go, cool. Do you want to pay for it by cash or by check? It's not a big deal. When you get to a point in your life, financially, that you fight with the person that you love more than anything else over who took the last $20 out of the checking account, man, that's pretty dumb. But unfortunately, there are lots of people doing it. And sadly enough, most divorces and bankruptcies, they happen for less than $200 a month. So all you cholerics out there, are you big enough? Brave enough? Bad enough? Do you have what it takes to change you? Do you have what it takes to lead your family? Do you have what it takes to change you, to fulfill the needs of your family? You want to make money at it doing it too? Great. Take a look at the Life Business. I will take and put links underneath this video. I'll even take and put my email underneath this video. You're serious about wanting to do something? Hit me up with an email. Send me your information. I'll give you a yell. I'll call you. If you're around Wichita, Kansas, you can come to a meeting. I'll shake your hand. I'll ask you how you're doing. And I'll listen. I've said before, the mark of a man is not what he takes from the world, but what he gives to the world. And following someone like Tim Marks, or Orrin Woodward, or Chris Brady, or Holger Spivak, or Curtis Spoller, all these different men who have overcome all these different things to achieve personal freedom and personal finances, and have stood up as men to show their family more. Why wouldn't you take a look at it?